What's up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm only kidding, but welcome back, guys. In the last video, you guys saw me talk about whether I should turbo the Mk2 5-cylinder or should I leave the turbo 5-cylinder 07K for an entirely different project. And after a lot of careful consideration, reading over 400 comments across all of my platforms that I post on, I think I finally come to the decision of what I'm going to do next and what are the next plans for the channel, for the Mk2, for future projects, yada, yada, yada. And after reading all of your guys' comments, it seemed like you guys wanted me to stay focused on the Mk2, which is completely understandable because obviously the car's not finished by any means and it would be kind of silly to move on to another project. But my reasoning behind it was I can have two projects going on at the same time on YouTube so I can get more watch time, more viewers, more, friends and supporters and all that kind of crap while doing the Mk2 and doing a different project. Now, in terms of what's going to happen next with the Mk2 5-cylinder, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done, obviously, to this car. I still need to do a bunch of body work. I still need to, get the gauge cluster working. I need to get gauges in here for my coolant temp, my oil pressure, yada yada, clean up some stuff, maybe do some interior stuff. I'd like to get some different seats at some point. So there's a lot of content left on the table for this thing, and it's not done yet because I want to go to track days. I want to do a bunch of different stuff with this. I want to go on adventures with this, take it to shows, meet people. There's a lot of things that I can still do with this car content-wise, so it's not going anywhere. Trust me, I'm not going to sell it. We're good. But in terms of what's next for the Mk2, first things first, I need to do body work, and then this thing has to go on an adventure where something is going to happen to the exterior. Now, as much as I want to tell you guys, I'm not going to tell you just for the, art of the surprise or what have you. Now, obviously, it has something to do with the exterior, and I'm super excited to show you guys, so hopefully, I can talk about it soon, but for right now, I just got to keep it like a little secret. But that's what's next for the Mk2, and in the time being, that'll happen probably sometime later in August, sometime around then. But the big question that you guys probably want to know the answer to, because it was the topic of focus in my last video, am I going to turbo the Mk2? And that answer is yes, we're going to turbo the Mk2. Now, we're not going to do a massive turbo. We're not going to go balls out, 400 wheel horsepower, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to do anything like that. We're going to put a smaller turbo on it. To be specific, we're going to do a G25 550. That way we can run the car on low boost, around 8 PSI, make 250, 300 wheel, and still have a usable car. Now, while it seems like a waste of time just to, have an extra 50 horsepower with all that money and all that custom work, my reasoning as to why I want to do it, one, I've always wanted a 5-cylinder 07K turbo. I think that would be absolutely sick. And two, it'll be really good for content because, people love 5-cylinder turbo noises. And at the end of the day, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. If things are going to do well content-wise, I'll probably, try to do it that way. Obviously I'm not in it for, views or whatever, but, I'm not going to be, whistling Diesel, destroying stuff. No shade to him, but, I'm not going to be doing that. But if I know something will do well video view-wise, then, yeah, I'm probably going to do it. Now, like I said, we're not going to go for big horsepower numbers. We'll probably stick around 250 to 300. I think that is a good point where the Mk2 is still functional. I'll probably burn through first and second gear, but it'll still have power it'll be able to put the power down reasonably without breaking too many things. Like the stock internals on the 07K can handle that. The O2J might get a little sketchy on 300 wheel horsepower, but if it blows up, they're like $100 at the local yard, so it is what it is. And I want to preface this is going to be like a long-term project. Like the 07K, the actual putting the engine in was something that I did over the winter. So this will probably be something that I'll do over the winter. So you guys probably won't see a turbo 07K Mk2 anytime soon because it's very expensive. And as much as I hate to drag it out, it's just one of those things that you kind of have to do. So I'm sorry for that. But now in terms of things that I need to address before we actually turbo this thing is 100% the clutch, because the clutch is a stock Mark IV clutch. and that'll probably that'll be gone like within seconds. But honestly, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep the clutch that's in there, and I'm gonna run it until it starts to slip and gets completely fried. That's the easiest way, because I don't want to take the engine out again. I really don't feel like doing it. So I'll just leave that clutch in there, and then once it starts to slip and get really bad, and then we'll upgrade to a higher, heavier duty clutch. We'll go stage 2, bro. The other thing is the fuel pump. Now, I don't know if the Dishworks 200 will be able to keep up with the fuel demands for the Turbo 07K. It might be able to, it might not be able to. After talking with Jason at RevMap, I think it would be the best to just leave that fuel pump setup in the car, and once we get the turbo and everything on the car, we'll just go from there, figure out if we need to get a bigger fuel pump, and then if we don't, cool. And for you guys who were telling me not to turbo the 07K, I completely understand where you're coming from. I think it'd be really cool to do an all-motor 5-cylinder. Cams, headers, higher compression, that'd be really cool, but it's just a lot of money that I don't have. I'm just a regular guy like you. I don't make a lot of money, and I just like doing cool car stuff. So I hope you guys understand why I'm going this route. So please don't be mad at me in the comments. But I'm super excited for it. I can't wait to actually get the turbo. We have, you know, a turbo. It's a sponsorship deal. You'll see it when I announce it. So the fact that we're getting a turbo from a company, that's really cool. And I'm super excited and super grateful for them to be able to believe in me, and then, you know, yeah. But it'll be a pretty basic setup. It'll be a G25 550 with a SPA turbo manifold, and it'll be, yeah, we'll have to do custom downpipes, intercooler piping, blah, 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 oil feed return. It'll be a whole new learning process, but I'm excited for it. And that's one thing that I like to do with this car, is force myself to learn. So I can't wait. I can't wait to have the freaking noises on my 5-cylinder. How cool would that be? I'm super stoked on it. And I hope you guys are stoked. But for the Mark II 07K, it's not going anywhere. Trust me, you guys will still be seeing videos. There's a bunch of stuff I want to do. Oh, and that brings me to my next point. What kind of style of videos am I going to be doing for the near future? Because obviously we've been doing build content. That's all we've been doing, is just build, build, build. And now with the Mark II, you know, kind of almost done-ish, I haven't been doing build videos. I've been doing like these drive and talks, or, you know, what have you. And I think the next set of videos are probably going to be more vlog style. You guys are just going to kind of be seeing what I do on a daily basis. It might not be as enjoyable, and it might not do as well view-wise, but hopefully people will start to like my personality, and then, you know, we can do that and have it be more fun. Oh, hey, there's my belt. I lost a belt yesterday, and it's sitting on the road. I'm just going to leave it there, see how long it stays. I'd also like to get this thing to a track day, because the other day I just got one of those like GPS track timer style like apps on the App Store, and I did a few polls on the Mark II on some very safe roads in Mexico, and it claimed to run a 12.4 quarter mile. I don't know how accurate that is, but that would put this Mark II, this piece of crap, up against a lot of very expensive cars, like $30,000, $40,000 cars, which is absolutely hilarious to me. And not that I built this car for straight line speed, but the fact that it could probably keep up with a Subaru WRX STI or a new Mark 8 Golf R, like, is awesome to me. That's hilarious. So I'd like to go to the track. I'd like to go to autocross. I'd like to do all that stuff. So don't worry, but the next plan of action for the Mark II is to do the exterior stuff. And then over the winter in the off season, I'll probably be doing the turbo kit, which is super exciting. And meanwhile, we do have the B7A4, which I really don't like this car. I kind of despise this car, but it's been neglected ever since I started working on the 07K Mark II. So would you guys want to see like a revival series on the B7? We need to do brakes, because this one caliper's hung up and the rotors are gone. You can tell, because yeah, it's just awful. But anyway, that's my big announcement. Yes, the Mark II 5-cylinder will be getting a turbo kit at some point. It'll be a slow process, but I wanted to tell you guys that. Just let you guys know my plans, and I'm super excited for it. So if you're new to the channel and you're like, heck yeah, I want to see an 07K Turbo Mark II, then freaking subscribe, do the things, and let me know what you guys want to see in the comments below. What kind of content you want to see from the Mark II? Do you want to see some vlogs? Do you want to see some specific things? And let me know. Essentially, I'm a slut for you guys, so whatever you want, besides like feet pics or whatever, I will do. Say bye, duckies. Bye. Freaking look at you, mud ducks.